party to get something accomplished?
Well, you know, if you ever watch the sessions in the floor sessions in the legislature, I was rarely in my seat because I was working across the aisle all the time, walking around, talking to people, making deals, and making contacts with people. And I would continue to do the same things. You don't just sit there and then decide you're going to vote red or green. You move around, and then you build coalitions, and you, when you're advancing bills, you certainly want to build coalitions. So I would continue to do bipartisan things. Some of the biggest bills that I've passed, the transportation bill and also the overhaul of the property tax system, were broadly based bipartisan stuff, and that's the only way you can really get good things done over there. Stop.
As I mentioned, from 2008 to 2011, I worked for Governor Tim Pawlenty as his energy person at the Capitol. With a Republican governor and a DFL legislature, you had to work across party lines. You didn't get bills introduced and heard and to the House and Senate floors without working with the other party. We had I think, a very good track record of results in getting good legislation passed through both houses and signed by the governor, which required working with the other side. And unlike my DFL opponent, I have a more recent experience at the Capitol. Been there in more recent years, know many of the players who are there today, many of the leaders of both parties, who I expect will return in this new election. So I look forward to working with my new Republican colleagues and my old cohorts in the DFL legislature to get good legislation that makes sense for Minnesota passed and signed by this DFL governor.
Thank you. The next question is on transit, and we'll start with Bill. Please describe the role of the state in transportation. What role does public transit play?
It plays an important role. We have one light rail line, we have a commuter line, the North Star route, and we have a second light rail line under construction. But I don't think we should neglect our bus system. The Metropolitan Council runs a bus system. We have a number of the suburban communities run bus systems. It's an important part of our transportation piece, but it's a part. It's not the be-all and end-all. We have an extensive freeway network that the state maintains. We have extensive trunk highways that the state supports as well. We need a comprehensive global solution. Every day, Highway 62 through Edina backs up at 3 o'clock. We need to do something about that. Perhaps a light rail line that goes through Eden Prairie was part of that, perhaps not, but we need to be careful as we spend money going forward that we actually solve the transportation problems that we have today.
So, Ron?
If we hadn't passed that bill in '08 after the bridge fell down, remember that one? You would not have built more bridges. You would not have even completed the Crosstown Commons. And the 6 Republicans that threw themselves on the sword to do the right thing for this state should be commended. To overthrow the veto of the governor, who was, I don't know where. And you would not be building the Central Corridor without that bill. And I tell you, frankly, I was the driver behind that, and you can thank me for that. Now, why we need more of that is because the population is aging, and we need transportation for them when they give up their car keys, for one thing. And along those the rail lines, there's an enormous amount of development, commercial and retail development that's going on. Just enormous. And there's going to be the same thing in the Southwest Corridor if you can find out why the Republicans won't vote the money for that.
Thank you. The next